Jenny McCarthy Show. Oh!
Carson Kressley, Thom Filicia, they've got a new show, Get a Room with Carson and Thom. You guys, it's on Friday nights at 9 o'clock on Bravo. And I just love Carson. Yet to know Thom yet very well. Hi,
Hello.
guys.
You're going to love Thom, too.
By the way, I love you, by the way. I have to tell you.
Tell me.
You look so gorgeous today. You look like Charlize Theron.
What? Can I show you
Yes.
the secret?
What is it? I do that. Thom has the same thing on, but it's a whole headpiece.
But mine's a merkin. Mine's a merkin, which
you
is
can't see it right now.
I almost came out with a line of Merkins just for fun.
Right.
I found them so fascinating.
Yes,
You could call it the Mech Merkin.
Oh, my God. With cheese.
Yes. Or sausage.
Yeah, with ham.
Congratulations
Either
on
way.
this
With me?
new show. I'm so
Thank you
excited,
so
you guys.
much.
I heard great things. Get a Room with Carson and Thom. It's Friday nights at 9 o'clock on Bravo. Tell me about it. Let's suck everybody in.
It's a home design show.
Yeah.
And every
Love
week
those.
we work with real clients. And Thom is such an A-list, superstar design aficionado. So he really knows what he's doing. And every week it's, one big kind of
we do one
real
high-style,
housewifey, McMansion-y, like large budget project. And then also we work with a client that maybe has a small budget that's very relatable, and it could be like a dental office or
and
somebody's
also
family
the smaller
room.
ones, sometimes it can even be a little bit of a give back, like something where we're kind of like helping somebody. It's not always that, but it's definitely smaller. It's a little bit more DIY. It's a little bit more approachable. And then there's a bigger project that sometimes is an old, beautiful house, or it could be sort of a newer kind of house. A lot of times we're dealing with these spaces that sort of are run on sentences and like big high ceilings, and people are a little bit like, we're not sure how to handle this.
Yeah. Sometimes I see them and I go, oh, what the hell are we going to do here? And then Thom figures it out.
So, Carson, you're there for the good time. You're the
I am there.
No,
I am there because this show actually happened really organically, because I bought a house and I said, I can redecorate this on my own. And then, cut to like a truck arriving with a sofa that does not fit through my front door. And I was like, I should probably learn what the F I'm doing.
All I know is that to do a show with Carson would be one of my favorite things of all time. I mean, I've had him on over again, and he's so fun.
Yes. First of all, absolutely. First of all, Carson, we had so much fun making the show. And as I was just telling
Tell her about the time I left you in the car and drive.
So, I was just telling someone, I was like, you don't understand, in the morning, sometimes I'm in the shower just like in tears laughing because I'm like thinking about what happened the day before.
I am too, but I'm looking at a mirror.
For example, this is a true story. There's no embellishment. We were in a Suburban, very large SUV.
The largest manufactured vehicle in the world.
We're driving this like school bus around this like neighborhood with very tight little turns and stuff, and the houses are beautiful. And then Carson was like, oh my God, I absolutely love this house. Thinks he puts the car in park.
So I jump out to take a selfie.
Neutral. He puts it in neutral, jumps out to take a selfie with the house in the background. And while he's doing that, I'm buckled into the passenger seat, and the SUV is now rolling backwards
down the hill,
and I'm like screaming like, ah! And I'm like trying to put the car into it's hard to get a car that's rolling backwards.
Yeah, I think you have to put the brake on to shift it.
I mean, it was anyway.
And the world's largest Suburban.
Yeah, it weighs like 1 billion pounds, and it's like careening towards like some little adorable, like
Cape Cod with a picket fence.
Thom, what is Carson naturally good at?
Carson is okay. I think Carson is very good at putting people, kind of making people feel comfortable, putting them at ease. And believe it or not, I think it's amazing that sometimes Carson will he's always hitting on the husband of whoever we're working with.
Especially if they're a spinal surgeon.
I'm standing there standing there oh my God, I'm so uncomfortable. I can barely hit on people that it would be appropriate for me to hit on.
The wives are usually like, go ahead, take him. I'm so sick of him.
Yeah. And it's so funny, and somehow it works. So I think Carson is, he's able to put
I'm a people person.
He's a real, hands-on people person.
Absolutely. Exactly.
I cannot wait to watch the show. You guys, do people have to use their own budgets on this show, or does the show help out the budget?
Well, we call it bougie.
It kind of makes it a little softer
better.
and it makes it a little less
Sounds
offensive.
French.
Yeah, it's
like
good.
Target.
Target. I would say that what we try to do is we bring our team to the table. We do like, for example, if we're doing we're painting, we have our guys to do it, and they'll come in and paint. And so that's free, but they're buying the product. They're doing that, and we try to get them really great deals, and we also get them things that maybe are not readily available, and we make they'll give it to us. They'll say, okay, you can buy that, even though normally we don't sell it off. But
essentially, they're paying for it. Just like if they were to hire Tom, they would say, "This is our budget."
Yeah, they're getting
we try
a great
to do a great
deal,
job for them.
but they definitely have a budget. And
I mean, what if I came to you and said, because this is what I'm looking for something done in my house.
Okay, tell us.
We want a sex room.
Yes.
Because we have kids in the house, and we can't ever have sex outside the closet or without making a noise. And I come really hard.
Yeah.
So we found in our basement, those old man spas that are wooden that people,
like an old sauna.
It's like a box that you plug in. But it's like So
you
it's could die in there.
Like
Be
a
careful.
little house.
So we want to put a beep, beep, beep key lock.
Right.
Yep. And then you open, we want to get rid of the wooden benches, put like a full mattress and then mirrors and like, a total.
I have that on Fire Island.
A sex box. You just call that a sex box.
I'm just so worried you'll get locked in there.
I was going to just say,
and you'll have to live on flavored lubricant.
Yeah. I would say don't buy a used one. I feel like that's the kind of thing you want to do like brand new, or at least have it be. Not
I had 3 contractors come to the house, and they all thought I was joking and left. And I'm like,
but you could do a room with like great soundproof paneling and make it very comfortable.
Feels like Carson's been here before,
lighting.
doesn't it? It's like he's describing his basement, by the way, just so you know.
See, mine has a lock on the inside so people can't get out.
Yeah.
Wait, that reminds me of a joke. I was like, God, I had this guy in my hotel room. He was banging on my door till 2 a.m. And then finally I let him out.
You guys
old chestnut.
Love
That's
it.
hilarious.
Let me ask you some designer questions since we're coming up to the holidays.
Sure.
When is the appropriate time to start putting up your Christmas decorations? When is it time to sit down?
I always go with the day after. I mean, the day after Thanksgiving. I think it's official.
Agree.
I think when I see Christmas decor,
people have them up already. I've seen it on Instagram.
When I see Christmas decor around, or holiday decor of any kind around, like Halloween, it really is.
It's confusing because let's get through Thanksgiving, which is about pilgrims and turkey, before we move on to the red and green and sparkly, which is about
core trauma from your family.
Yeah. I think the day after Thanksgiving is a good sort of, because it's a day for. I feel like there's not, unless you really are a sports fan, you're looking for something to do.
I know. We still have our Halloween decorations up, and it's freaking me out.
Well,
you just got to watch.
Are they pumpkins and whatnot?
Do you guys decorate your sex box for the holidays?
No, right now there literally is cigarettes and lube in there.
Yeah.
That's all there is. But
good times.
That's hilarious.
Good
what
times.
About
you should go with a flame retardant fabric.
Trust me, there is. My whole body is flammable. So, what about keeping up with the Joneses? Like, everyone suffers from that problem, especially in neighborhoods.
Right.
How do you deal?
I always say, people say, what's like a trend that you see right now that is really like inspiring or that you like?
That wasn't the question.
But this isn't.
It's deflecting.
No. I really like when people design interiors that actually are a true reflection of who they are and the way they live and their lifestyle. So I think keeping up with the Joneses or creating interiors that feel aspirational or like this is who I think I am or this is who I want to be feel a little bit sort of, it's a very dated concept. That living room that you walk by that nobody goes in. I don't think people live like that anymore. So I think designing authentically.
My mom
for who
does.
You are,
we still have a living room that we're not allowed to use. She's like, get out of there! Like, I just want to sit down. No, it's a 1979 blue velvet sofa that has never been sat upon ever.
Like my mom's in those HOA communities that have the plastic animals all over the lawn.
Yeah. That's so funny.
and in total competition with each other. I'm like, you got to just chill.
Yeah,
you don't need another plastic Santa. There's one on the roof. There's one in the backyard. There's one in the
How
front
about the
lawn.
ones that like blow up at in the day and night, or the nighttime,
in the daytime,
and
they're
then
just
they go flaccid at like around midnight.
It's just a bunch of
That's
fabric
terrible, right?
on your lawn.
Carson doesn't like that word. I think he's had bad experiences.
I don't like flaccid either. Let me plug your show again. Carson Kressley and Thom Filicia. I'm talking to the show is called Get a Room with Carson and Tom. Friday nights at 9 o'clock on Bravo. What is the most difficult customer? I know, Tom, you run your design firm. What is the most difficult person you've ever had, customer, client?
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't want to use names, but
no.
I would say, the most difficult client is generally a client that is unable to make decisions and is unable.
We've had that on the show.
Yeah, unable to make decisions. It's insecure. I mean, when you have a client that's got, sort of feels confident and is, indecisive, that's like a real treat because you're able to like really have a lot of fun and do interesting things and make things happen, But when you have indecisive and
micromanagers.
That's the other one. Oh gosh, people that are like, no, let me show you. This is the way you should do it, and you're like, what?
You're like, why did you hire me? The people that think they know better.
There's clients sometimes that have like a vision as to they'll come from an industry like whatever industry they're coming from that has nothing to do with the design world.
Tuna packing.
Tuna packing, and then they want to try to use that system and that philosophy and that point of view to like sort of
at the cannery. This is how we do it.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought of canning, but anyway, I was trying to think of something that was very different from interior design.
Canning. That's funny.
Carson, what have you learned from working with Tom?
Oh gosh, I have learned so much, and I love interior design, so it's been such a thrill and so fun working with Tom in this space. I think the most important thing, and this is what we see on the show over and over again, is people are so scared to start that they wind up living in a house with no furniture for 7 years.
Yeah, crazy.
So have a plan. There are two things in interior design. There's a plan and a concept. So your concept could be like, I want it to look like a country French, farmhouse kitchen. That's a great concept. That gives you information about what you're going to choose. And then the plan is like the physical, like how big is the room? How tall are the ceilings?
Right.
What am I going to use the room for?
Yeah, I mean, in our show, like the
things-
first thing we would always do, like I would say to people, like, and everyone's like, we have to hit the ground running. And I was like, we can't just like, there's no point in doing anything until we have a plan because it just it's just gonna be stuff. So you have to have the plan and the concept are the two things that we kind of like brainstorm on, really sit down and make that plan, have that concept, and then a lot of the information, a lot of the answers that you're looking for are kind of in front of you a little bit based on the architecture, the location, the lifestyle, and sort of the concept of what you're doing.
Because I would just go out and buy willy-nilly, like, oh, I like this sofa. Oh, I like this fabric. I would buy a bolt of it. And I was like, I don't have anything to upholster. Like, I would do dumb stuff like that because I didn't have a plan. And the plan really is like, do I need a 7-foot sofa? No, my space is only 6 feet wide. I need a 6-foot sofa. Right.
Exactly.
So it keeps you on track.
And even when you have this plan and when you have this concept and you're moving forward, there's definitely room for things to sort of organically happen, but they happen in a way, and I always use fashion as an example, and is that like if you have like a closet of things that you love and you have a point of view, and you can pick up little things along the way that make sense and that you totally love.
Accessories.
But if you have literally no concept or plan, or you have no sort of like, nothing that you understand as like what it is.
It's a mishigas.
It just becomes a mishigas.
Let me ask you guys, because interior designers, interior decorators, a lot of people don't even understand the concept of hiring someone.
Right.
And then once they do, I've heard the shock of some people going like, how much per hour? And then interior designers will get stuff at wholesale.
Right.
But the client doesn't necessarily get it at wholesale.
Right.
You know what I mean? So can you explain the fees that are normal and how it works?
Demystify.
So, I mean, a couple of things. One is that I think you should, a client, when they're given a contract, it's all really spelled out. And hopefully the designers are giving them that contract, giving them the time and walking them through it, so that they really understand it, and that way there are no surprises. But you're correct in the sense that I always tell people, for what you're paying for professional services, you're probably going to pay 10 to maybe 20% more, depending on how you structure your deal. You're going to pay a little bit more, but you're going to get an incredible, first of all, the service of having it done for you and having a professional design that looks great is really, takes it to another level. But I would tell you that that's really, it's not, even though it looks like you're paying all this money, they're getting you a lot of great savings, but they're also giving you the opportunity to not make a lot of mistakes, so that you're not paying for things that you don't necessarily need. So the way it's structured generally is that it's, I would say across the board, it's anywhere between 30 to 35% markup on the designer's cost, and then the designer's cost is generally anywhere between 20 and 50% below what the client would get it for. So I think that's how that relationship works, if that makes any sense.
Sorry, I just woke up.
Yeah, she's not good at math, that one, I'll tell you.
You know what? A lot of people want to do it, and they're scared. They're scared to pay the fees, and so it's like they're almost too embarrassed to ask. So that's why I wanted to get that out there.
I have a question, though, and this I think your listeners will respond to. Yeah. Some stores, like if you go to like, I don't know, like a major furniture store, they'll have on-staff designers.
Yes. Yeah.
And how does that work?
They
Terribly.
generally on-staff.
Terribly.
Yeah. Generally, on-staff designers are they're just kind of like they provide them as a service, and it doesn't cost anything more. Mm-hmm. But sometimes they're great. I mean, every once in a while you can luck out and just get a really great person that just really understands what's going on.
You did.
But
I tried it, and I used someone, and they did a whole room, and then I was like, this is not working, and so I hired an interior designer, and they came over and they were like, this is fucked up. Everything is wrong about this. So I just
you have to think about the time. I mean, it's like if you do your catering from Wendy's for a holiday party,
you're probably only going to get stuff from Wendy's.
You know what I mean? And you only get stuff from Wendy's,
right?
And not that there's anything wrong with Wendy's, but I mean, I just feel like
Frosty.
For like a 50th birthday party, it seems a little sort of entry level. But I think that's kind of what might happen if you tap into that.
We'll come to Chicago though, and we'll do your sex box room.
I would love
emporium.
Oh my God, we could decorate that sex box.
Do you guys
holidays.
remember that the show Trading Spaces? I think it's back
do. Yeah.
Of course. Yes.
By the way, do you know the building I live in, which has literally 8 apartments in it? Ty Pennington is one of my neighbors.
Oh, really?
No way.
Is that funny?
I mean, Carson, have you ever witnessed any of the clients go like, I hate it?
On our show, no. There have been moments where, like, we're in the middle of the process, and we're like, and this is what it's going to look like, and then their face blanch, and then they're just like, what?
Yeah, when you tell people, oh, we're going to paint your window, your mullions and your window sashes black, they're just like, wait, what?
If I had a nickel.
They're like, huh? And then, or like, hey, we're going to put doors here, or we're going to, we're going to, it's just, I'd say just
paint your entire house orange on the inside, which we've had that conversation. It was a very large space. There was no other way around it. So sometimes they do blanch. I have seen some of the trading spaces where the lady is like,
my God,
I can say a bad word on this show.
Yes,
this is
you can.
Radio.
No.
Where
they're like,
they go, no, they don't go, no, they go, oh, fuck no. That is the best television ever.
There's a compilation series on YouTube of people's reactions, and they're crying, and they're like, I said not to paint the fucking brick, and you painted the fucking brick.
No, I mean, it is. By the way, I have to say, some of the things they do to people's houses, I was like,
I think they did it on purpose.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
somebody's kind
Carson,
of pushed. It's not
back
good.
in the day for Queer Eye, you guys never fucked with anybody like that, right?
No.
Let's give this guy a toupee.
No, we always really wanted it to be like great design because it was our careers. Like television was always kind of secondary. Yeah. We wanted to make sure we looked like we knew what we were doing. Right. So I think the same goes for Get a Room.
I also think it's just, I think we love what we do and we take it seriously. So we really want people to we want people to like what we're doing. We want to like what we're doing. We want to be proud of what we're doing. And we also want them to be excited about, connecting with it.
All I know is this is a killer combination. Like, just knowing you two are doing the show, I love watching these kind of house renovations, room renovations. So I'm in, and I think it's going to be a huge success.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm having you come.
We're coming to Chicago.
Okay, we're coming to Chicago. Oh my gosh.
Nothing more in the world. Carson Kressley, Thom Filicia. You guys, thank you so much. Come
Thanks,
back anytime.
Thank you. We love you. We love you.
I love you too.
And you
Get a room.
Gorge.
Get a room with Carson and Thom, Friday nights
so
at 9
sweet.
o'clock on Bravo. We'll be right back.
Jenny McCarthy Show. Oh!